Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time, 8 a.m. Central. Today, of course, is Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. Our goal is to spend a few minutes together to provide tips, techniques, review strategies, share success stories, but ultimately we're here to support each of you. I got a call from Joseph yesterday, and he had asked me to focus on going back and revisiting the basics. So let's do that for a few minutes. And the basics means the simple process to be able to do two concurrent things: helping small businesses and you making money. So let's go through the simple process. Thank you again, Joseph, for bringing this to my attention. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you see the 4weekfunding.org. This is the fully grant-subsidized campaign whereby the participant pays zero to go through and fully participate in the program. What they're going to do is complete a 28-day curriculum. This used to be a college course. I taught this, myself and others. We taught this as a college course, credit earning. People had to apply to college. They had to be accepted to college. They had to pay the tuition for the 3 credit hours. They had to buy the textbook, and they had to go through a 12 to 16 week course. Well, what you and I offer now for adult learners is a compressed version of that. Only takes 4 weeks, 28 days, and they don't have to spend any money because of the grant. Why would someone want to go through the free 4-week funding program? It's someone that either is thinking about starting a business or has started a business, and they want or need capital to start to grow to reach their potential. Now you might say, well, why is that necessary? Why would that take 4 weeks to go get capital? People don't want that. They just want the funding right away. Well, we have a way to do that, and that's the right-hand side of the screen. But I'd like to pause that for a moment and instead make sure that we understand the relevance of this. Most small business owners don't have access to the capital that they want and need because their business doesn't look credible enough on paper. And this is a universal truth, whether it be a brand new startup business or an existing. Because how do we get funding? We have to qualify for it. And that's what you and I do as technical advisors, is help small business owners get their business credible enough so they can get the funding that they want and need to start to grow to reach their potential. 4 weeks is a pretty rapid pace. Again, this was 12 to 16 weeks within the college environment. But as you may know, and you can go through the video here and learn more in detail, we have a specific game plan to get each client ready. Week 1, we work on their business plan and make sure that their business is set up properly. Week 2, we work on building their business credit. And we promise, we guarantee it's in writing that we're going to get them at least $10,000 while they're going through the process. And this is what Carlos always likes to say: it's not only free, we pay them to participate, right? So you get the grant that waives the normal $2,500 cost, which is what it's worth. So they're getting it free, plus they're guaranteed $10,000 in business funding as they're going through it. And that's under the EIN of the business. So week 1 is business planning. Why is a business plan important? Well, it helps us vet through and gel through where we want to go and what we want to do. But most relevant to what we're talking about here, it articulates how much capital that the client wants, the participant in the program, and what they're going to use it for. We kind of stated that. Week 2 then is putting together the business credit profile and getting them the $10,000. Week 3 is financial management, and that's looking at and building, if necessary, their balance sheet and income statement, making sure that they're ready for funding. And then week 4 is called banking and money, where we pull it all together. So maybe that answers the question. So if the question is, well, why don't we just go to funding over here on the right-hand side, which we'll talk about, why don't we just skip this? Well, for small businesses that don't want to go through the preparation process, that's fine. You can bring clients directly over to the fundingproposal.online. You can submit them here, list yourself as the referral source, and we'll get an application completed and we'll go to funding immediately. But let's look through this intelligently. I think you and I would agree, most small business owners have not improved the credibility of their business on paper. So by skipping this process on the left, all we're going to be able to do initially is go to funding based upon their baseline status. Now, in general, the typical client that comes through over on the right-hand side with the funding proposal, the typical participant will get 4 to 7 cash funding offers. They might get 10, 20, 30, 40,000. Very rarely will they qualify for more than 100,000 off this initial tranche. Then we can take them through the 4-week process over here and then get them the rest of the capital raise. If they go through this process, we're actually guaranteeing them a minimum of 100,000 by going through the process. So it's just, it shouldn't be confusing. You should see that there are 2 different elements, and you as the referral partner decide how you want to bring each client in. What many of you will do, so here's the best practice. This is what Winston does, and Lon does, and Doug does, and Charles does. Here's the best practice. You come to 4weekfunding.org, down at the bottom, fill this out. Say, I want to be a referral partner if you've not, submit that, and then the system will generate a link for you, a unique link, a unique landing page. It'll look just like this, but it's specific to you. So the URL will be slightly different. It'll be specific to you. So then when you share that URL with people, that website, that link, then this box here is all hard coded to you. You're automatically receiving credit, even if they didn't know your name. Let's say you did some sort of posting or some sort of outreach and they put nothing here. Would you receive credit? Absolutely, if you're using your page. Again, how do you get your page? You simply come to 4weekfunding.org, fill this out, click the top button, click blue, and then it'll send you a follow-up email to get your page set up. How much does it cost now? 0. How much does it cost later? 0. What are the production requirements? 0 or none. I mean, there's no strings attached. So this is what we call the referral partner. Now, we would like you to go through the 4-week funding process yourself to at least understand it, because we think that you'll be a better referral partner if you do. But there's no requirement that you go through and get funding or anything like that. So best practice is to come to 4weekfunding.org, get your unique landing page, refer people to it. They'll go through the 4-week process. We'll assign a mentor, so you're not burdened with that. And then at the end of the 4-week funding process, when we have the loan package built, then normally we go over here to the second page, and then we go to funding. Now, the truth is, at any point that a client's going through the free 4-week funding process, if they say, hey, I just need some capital now, then we can start concurrently and get a funding proposal done. So let's almost stack it. So this kind of falls underneath this one normally. So normally we start with this and then we pick up the funding proposal either at the end of the 4 weeks, the end of the 28 days, but it could be at any point during the process. If your preference is to bring people directly in to the fundingproposal.online, you're welcome to do so. We'll get them their first tranche, first round of capital right away, and then we can go build out the loan package. Let's talk about what's in it for you. And I think this is really what Joseph was prompting me to talk about. I just wanted to cover the process first. Let's make sure that you know how you get paid. The first determining factor of how you get paid determines which hat you're wearing, which role you're in. If you are a referral partner, how do you become a referral partner? Go to 4weekfunding.org, just like we talked about, fill this out, click the top button, submit it. It'll send you a link and you're a referral partner now. Easy, free. So how much do you get paid if you're a referral partner? Well, if you were to, we'll take Bruce. Bruce is one of our top white label partners, but we'll just pretend Bruce is just a man off the street. So if you referred in Bruce and Bruce filled this out on your landing page, then we're going to take Bruce through the process. We're going to get him at least 10,000 of business credit in the 30 days. And then we're going to offer to take him to funding at the end of the 28 days. Bruce, by doing this, Bruce will get an initial tranche of funding based on whatever he qualifies for. We'll continue to build out, strengthen his loan package to make sure he gets at least 100,000. Bruce is guaranteed 100,000 by going through that process. As a referral partner, you're getting 5% of Bruce's, in this example, whomever he refers, capital raise. So 5% of 100,000 is what? $5,000. Now, you could have brought Bruce through this process where he did the 28 days first. And then, as I mentioned, we'll put this underneath. And then he went to the funding proposal. You get your 5,000. If you want to just take Bruce directly to the funding proposal and skip the 4-week funding, the prep, and just take him to funding right away, how much do you make? You make your same 5 points off the capital raise, 5,000 minimum, because we know Bruce is going to get at least 100,000. You're getting 5%. Now, let's say Bruce gets 200,000, then you get 10,000. It's linear. It's 5%. So that is how it works if you're a referral partner. It works slightly different if you're a white label partner. And so I'm going to flip tabs here. If you want to earn more, then you would be a white label partner. How much does it cost to get signed up as a white label partner? Nothing. And you can learn about it on 4weekfunding.com, not .org, but .com. So this is where you'd come over to get set up as a white label partner. Now, let's describe best practice if you're a white label partner. Best practice if you're a white label partner would be to refer clients into the 4-week funding program. So you'd be both a white label partner and a referral partner. You would bring them in as a referral partner. So you'd fill out the yes, blue bar, get your link. It would look just like this. So it starts the same. If you're a white label partner, feeding them into your page that looks just like this on the left. The difference is that you, as the white label partner, which is the screen we're talking about here, you then go ahead and then at any point during this 28-day process, then you help them go to funding, which means you get them under contract with your white label partner access to capital agreement. And say, oh, I don't know what that means. Okay, so let's go over and pull up. If you go to iimfl.org, go to the white label page. This is where you get set up as a white label partner as well. But there's the training videos, which is not the point we're talking about. The screen will refresh in a moment. But we get down beneath it. And if you're a white label partner, you're actually contracting with the client for the capital raise. We're not. So if you bring them over here, then we're contracting with them for the capital raise. And that's what a referral partner does. A white label partner wouldn't do that. A white label partner would get them under contract. And here's the template that you can go in and click on. It's a Word and you can edit it. So then the client contracts with you to go to funding. So think about the 4-week funding program as kind of the funding prep course, getting them ready, but they also get the 10,000. But this is not the funding process. It's really the prep process. And so the funding process comes through here if you're a referral partner. But if you're a white label partner, you're going to contract with them using your version of this template. And then you're going to upload the client right here. So you're not sending your clients to this page. No. If you're a white label partner, you're going to get them under contract with your version of the template. Then you or someone on your team is going to submit them here, and then we'll send them the funding proposal. And then essentially they progress through and we get them the offers. So it's not complicated. You just need to understand. Best practice is to start with 4weekfunding.org, become a referral partner, free and easy, feed people in. And then if you want to make only 5 points, stay as a referral partner, and this will happen organically. If you want to earn more, then you'd be a white label partner. Didn't cost anything to get set up as a white label partner on 4weekfunding.com. And then instead of driving them over to free funding proposal, you would get them under agreement using your template. Now, Bill's got his hand up saying, well, how much do I earn as a white label partner? Well, the answer, Bill, is it's up to you, right? Because you're controlling the client's terms and conditions. Most of you are doing a 12 to 15% performance fee off the capital raise. So let's just go with 12 on the low end. Well, if the client is getting 100,000 and you're getting 12 points, that's $12,000. So you'll make 12 to 15,000 if you are a white label partner per client. You'll make 5,000 as a referral partner. The referral partner is a bit less work, right? Because as a referral partner, all you're doing is getting your unique landing page, referring people in here, and we take care of the rest of the process. As a white label partner, you'd still also be a referral partner, also get this page, also submit people here, but then you're the one that's pivoting them over into the funding process by using your agreement. You see that slight difference? So technically, all white label partners should be referral partners, but not all referral partners will want to be a white label partner. If you want to be more involved and earn more, then you'd be a white label partner. Our white label partners are really a more committed group. We're working with them and they're helping at least 8 clients, 8 to 10, but at least 8 clients a month. We'll do the math off of that. Let's go back to the numbers we used before. If you're making 12,000 per client and you help 8 clients a month, that's 96,000 a month. Yeah, and there's going to be expenses associated with it, just like any business, but your gross income puts you right about 100,000 a month. Not get rich quick, but not bad. In contrast, our referral partners that are coming through this process and we're picking up the back end, they may help more than 8 or 10 clients a month. They may help less. They're just more free flowing. They're not as actively engaged. So who has questions, comments, concerns? And again, I want to thank Joseph for prompting us to bring this back, because I know it's easy to get lost in the details, but if you just step back and you look at this, it is not difficult. Now, Doug's bringing up a good point, and he's a white label partner. If you're a white label partner, you do not have to follow the best practice that I just discussed, and Doug's correct in bringing that. As a white label partner, you could skip this 4-week funding, skip it. You could just simply use your agreement, which we talked about before, and then get the client under contract with you. Then you can submit them here, and then we can get started and go forward. But if you do it that way, if you bring them, we'll call this direct. If you bring them in direct, Doug and other white label partners, then you're responsible for doing the mentoring. And the mentoring's discussed in all the training, in some of the training videos above, and it's described here with the modules. So what you have to decide is, if you're a white label partner, do you want to do the mentoring? The way to escape doing the mentoring but still making the full amount as a white label partner is to approach it in 2 distinct steps. Start over here and then go to funding under your agreement. But if your preference is to bring them, we'll call them direct to you, Doug, that's right. Then you get them under contract here, and then you submit them here. We'll go get them funding, the initial funding proposal. But now you're taking care of the billing and collections with the client, and you're doing the mentoring. So you escape the responsibilities of the mentoring by enrolling them in this first. Now, and you're welcome, Doug, for the thank you from you. The way to game the system, and I think April's probably the one of the best at this, and I don't mean it negatively. What April will do as a white label partner, she'll feed her clients over here into 4-week funding, because she has her own link. So it's not this exact URL, but it's her landing page. So she'll drive in, an average of 1 to 2 people a day right now. Thank you, April, for that. Into this page. And then she'll immediately say, hey, great, thank you. I see you've been assigned your mentor. Let's go ahead and see how much funding you qualify for now. And then she'll turn around and immediately get them under contract. Then she'll submit them here, and we'll take them to funding often in day 1, day 2. So April and some of you have figured out how to game the system a little bit, how to essentially offload the mentoring to our team without any financial ramification to you, while still taking the client to funding just as quickly. So, but it's up to you. So in other words, as a white label partner, at any point during the 28-day process, you can reach out to them and say, great, I see you're working on building your loan package. How's it going? Great, great, great. Most people love it to death. You say, well, while you're doing that, we can go ahead and get your first round or your first tranche of funding. Would you like to do that now? And they're probably going to say, well, sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and start with some funding now while I'm going through the process. Then you just simply get them under agreement and submit. We'll continue to complete the mentoring at no charge to you, so you're not burdened with that. And then you're getting all the benefits. Carlos is asking to quantify the benefits as a white label partner. So thank you, Carlos. So number 1, you're going to make $2,500 up front. That's a deposit that the client pays you out of their first tranche of capital, not out of their pocket, but out of the first tranche. So you make $2,500 as a white label partner up front, plus you make the performance fee. How much is the performance fee, Carlos? I don't know. You pick it, right? That's what we said. You got an editable agreement. Let's say you set it at 15%. I forget the example we used before. So then we get them at least 100,000. A lot of people want more, but let's say it's 100,000. So now you've made 15,000, 15% of the 100,000, plus the deposit of the 2,500. So you brought in 17,500 for that client. How long will that take? Ideally, we'll get that done, while they're going through this process. It may be that we need to finish this process first and build out their loan package and get them more credible on paper. But for most clients, the sooner they start to see the funding coming through, the happier they are. And as a referral partner and or as a white label partner, you want to see, of course, happy clients for the obvious reasons, but also the quicker that they're getting funding, the quicker you are getting paid. So hopefully that helps. Let's see what other questions we have here. Doug says, oh, wow, that's perfect. Just want to make certain I understood that option to be a white label partner. Yes. And I don't want to confuse what we've done in the past. Some things worked and some things didn't. But just for those of you that have been with us for a while, in the past, for a period of time, we were offering delegated mentoring. So that meant before this existed, so I'll cover it up. Before that existed, then we would allow white label partners to get clients under agreement, submit them here. And there was actually a different toggle that said, I want to delegate mentoring. And then we would do the mentoring, but we had to charge for that, right? Because that was presumably going to be handled by the white label partner. But we've gotten rid of delegated mentoring because we don't really need delegated mentoring if you understand what we'll call it the April strategy that I just described. If you bring them in here first, and then as quickly as you want, start working on their funding process through this, then you've outsourced the mentoring to our team with no cost and no burden to you. So that's what we'll call it the backdoor approach, not because it's wrong or anything's inappropriate with it, but it's the order. We were talking the other day about my son who's finishing 6th grade, and in math, he's learning the PIMDAs, the order of operation, right? So when you have a mathematical computation that has parentheses and exponents and multiplication and division, addition and subtraction, the order makes the difference. You have to follow the right order. Well, I'm just showing you that you have an option on the order. If you're a referral partner, there really isn't much option, right? It's just simply, well, first become a referral partner here, click top button, blue, get a link, submit people. But if you're a white label partner, you have 2 different scenarios. You can do the best practice, which I've described, bringing them in here first, and then at any point during the 28-day process, move them into the capital raise. Or you can do what Doug had originally asked about. Hey, if I don't want to outsource mentoring. I want to do the mentoring. I want to control the client. Then great. Skip that completely. We'll cover it up and then just bring them in here. All right, Larry's asking about how to become a white label partner. So there's a couple ways. You can come to this page here and click on it and get set up as a white label partner. Alternatively, you can go to 4weekfunding.com and become a white label partner. Once you come aboard, what happens is we will send an onboarding email to you. Our funding coordinator will give you a call and make sure you receive the email, welcome you aboard, congratulate you on your decision, and make sure you're plugged into the onboarding and training. That brings up a point, which isn't what Larry asked, but we did just implement, not sure what happened with that. There we go. We did just implement a change today. It's not going to affect you materially, but it's good to know. Effective today, well, let's talk about what happens with the client when they come through this process over here, and then I'll tell you about the change. And it's a mild change. It's not going to make you angry or anything. So once a client is submitted here, and again, you wouldn't probably want to submit them on 4weekfunding.org. You'd want to submit them on your version of that, your link, your landing page, which you get free by the way we talked about. But once they come in here, then we get them started on the 4-week curriculum. So they're going to right away get an email for week 1. They have the option, just like you had the option. Do they want to be a referral partner or not? It doesn't matter to us. We're not trying to push it on them. There's no cost. It's not MLM. It's not network marketing. But some people want to help spread the word. But most importantly, my point I'm making right now, there's some people that just need some cash flow. They're just hurting. And so for them to add an extra $5,000 a month or a week or a day, whatever volume that they want to do as a referral partner, that makes a big difference in them being able to pay their bills or not, to keep their head above water. So the referral partnership shouldn't be seen as a threat to you. It, in fact, is, I think, the missing ingredient for a lot of these small businesses that, in addition to going and borrowing money, taking on debt, which is leverage, which is fine in the business environment, some of them just need some cash flow just to be able to pay their bills and have some short-term working capital. Well, we call that earned income. So, but it's up to them. We're not going to push that on them. They'll make that decision. But once they're signed up here, then they're going to start with module 1. And then every 7 days after that, they'll go to the next module. They'll have weekly calls with a mentor, myself or one of the other internal mentors that's assigned. And we'll start working on their business plan right away, building their business credit, getting them this and that. The change that I made reference to, probably not that big a deal to you, but it is to us, because we've enrolled hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in the first month of this relaunch. So it's going really well. But in addition to the emails and text automation that's built into the automation that Scott Stroud, our Chief Marketing Officer, built, we're going to add even more of a human touch upon enrollment. So just effective today, the automation has been changed where we have a group of young ladies that will make an outbound call once the client has enrolled, be that human touch. Hey, thank you, Betty, for enrolling. Congratulations. This is going to be great. Want to make sure you receive module 1. Can you go ahead and pull up your email? Because what you and I know is a lot of people aren't as sophisticated as they really need to be. So they're using Gmail, they're using Yahoo, they're using American Online or Hotmail or others that are consumer emails, but they're using that for their business. And what happens? Well, business to business communication doesn't get delivered very well to those types of residential or personal email addresses, because when you start adding attachments and links, that is seen as a threat by Gmail and Yahoo and others, where in business to business, we know that that's necessary. We're going through an online curriculum. Of course, there's going to be attachments and links. So the change I just wanted to bring up is, as of today, our welcome team, if you want to call them that, will be making a live phone call to each person that enrolls on day 1 or thereabouts. Not a big deal probably to you, but to us, it's a big deal because we had to add a lot more staffing for that with the volume we have. So at the end of the day, this is, we're using an award-winning curriculum. There's a variety of different types of funding that's available. We guarantee them at least $10,000 during the 30-day process of going through the 4-week process. So not only are they getting a grant and participating for free, saving the $2,500, we're also literally paying them to participate. I don't know how you could refute that. And then those that want to move on to funding, then we can help them move on to funding. They're not required. So they may go through this, and this happened to me, I was going to say all the time, but that's an exaggeration. When I worked for the SBA, it wasn't unusual that I would have clients come in looking for help building their loan package to get funding, just like we're talking about here, but their plan was bad and it wasn't going to make money, or it wasn't going to make enough money. And so some people decide, I don't want to move forward. Now that I've fully thought through this, my idea is not a good one. And so if that happens, then of course they probably wouldn't want to go to step 2 over here, funding, because why would you want to go get funding for a bad idea, right? But we're not going to tell the client that they can't get funding. Our job is, hey, here's your loan package, here's the capital raise strategy. Do you want to move forward? And if so, then we bring them over here and we move forward. So at the end of the day, if you wanted to protect yourself from unhappy clients, what would you do? So separate from you making money, which we showed you how to make money, but let's just clarify, if you wanted to protect against unhappy clients, what would you do? If I were you, I'd bring them into the 4weekfunding.org first, using your link, of course, so you're getting credit for it. It'll look just like this, but this will be all hard-coded to you. And then we go through the 4-week process, and we're learning about the client's business and their credibility and building out the loan package. And then at that point, if it's a viable business model and we're able to meet their funding request, then you'd take them to funding, because you're going to have a small number of people that their idea is bad and it's not fundable, or they're not willing to comply, so they're not willing to get their business credible enough to get the funding they want. Because anytime we get a complaint, it's almost always someone that has outlandish request. I want $7.5 million in 30 days. And it's like, well, let's get to work and see, how this looks and what you qualify for. And so if you bring them directly into funding proposal, it's fine. We make promises. The promise is we'll get you multiple funding offers quickly. Most people get 4 to 7. Most people get cash funding offers, 10, 20, 30, 40,000. Could be lines of credit, could be term loans, what have you. We guarantee them that we'll work with them to reach the 100,000. But if their expectation is, no, I want $7.5 million in 30 days, or you guys are crooks, we're in a pretty bad position, because we don't know if they're going to qualify for that or not yet. So the point in closing is, if you wanted to optimize client satisfaction, you would use this 2-step approach. Here first, funding second, whether you want to bring them into the white label model of funding or direct. But with that being said, if you want to bring people directly into fundingproposal.online, that is fine. And a lot of you are doing it that way. All right, well, that's where we're at for today. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you back tomorrow morning. Same place, same time, same channel. Talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye.